British Columbia Institute of Technology acknowledges that our campuses are located on the unceded traditional territories of the Coast Salish nations of Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh.
From the Broadcast Center at BCIT's Burnaby Campus, this is All Talk Radio. You're listening to 1680 The Crow.
Hello and good morning. This is Shaigan Jafar Beglu with your morning news. Moving on to the latest on Canadian wildfires, which have forced thousands to evacuate from their homes. In Fort Nelson, BC, around 4,700 people, and in Fort McMurray, Alberta, around 6,600 people were evacuated. There's also a fire around Portage, Manitoba, which has forced out around 500 residents. Alberta Forestry Minister says all of the province's wildfire crews have been hired for the season. The province of Alberta says 172 firefighters, 22 helicopters, and 57 pieces of heavy equipment have been assigned to the fire near Port McMurray. We are halfway through the month-long Loblaw boycott. Reporter Tammy Mack tells us how the decision to stop shopping at Loblaw is more than just a political stance.
Consumers that are fed up with soaring grocery prices are boycotting Loblaws as a display of collective action against the conglomerate. However, for some shoppers, the decision to shop at other grocery stores is more of an economical choice than a political stance.
I felt like that's just the way it is until I found alternatives. I thought like, oh, that's just the way things are now. I thought that was the common price of food because that was just my go-to grocery. Lower grocery bill. I can just go back to my normal ways of eating and just be spending less than what I normally would if I were to be shopping at Superstore.
Gajar has turned to other grocers as a way to make his hard-earned dollars go further. Tammy Mack for BCIT's The Crow.
The South Burnaby community had their first arena recreation center open this year. Our reporter Sia Forio will tell us more on how the Rosemary Brown Center has become a positive impact for residents.
According to Elections Canada, Burnaby South has a population of over 120,000 people, making it a diverse and growing community. Vince Kwong, the manager of the Rosemary Brown Center, notes that many residents have never experienced ice skating or put on skates before. It was crucial for the city to carefully consider the type of center that would best serve this community. Since its grand opening in April of this year, Kwong says that the community has enthusiastically embraced the center, with people coming in to try out the ice rink and other services such as spring ice time. Additionally, activities like toonie skates and skating lessons were consistently filled. With summer coming up, many new programs will be added to the center for residents to choose from. CF Forio, BCIT's The Crow.
Environment Canada is predicting snow for Coquihalla Highway, Okanagan Connector, Allison Pass, Kootenay Pass, Begme Summit, and Rogers Pass. Travelers should be prepared for snow over the long weekend. The agency says up to 5 centimeters of snow is expected for these areas in the coming days. The snow is expected to start Thursday morning and Saturday morning. Moving on to Slovakia. Slovak authorities have charged a person with attempting to assassinate the Prime Minister Fico. Fico is deemed a divisive figure in Slovakia and beyond. NATO Secretary General Jens says violence is not the way to solve internal political disputes.
It violates every idea of a democracy. In democracies we can disagree, we can have different opinions, but violence is absolutely unacceptable. So our thoughts are with the Prime Minister, Robert Fico, his family and the people of Slovakia.
Future of Gaza is still unclear as the war rages on between the two nations. Jordana Miller of ABC has more.
Israel's prime minister rejecting calls to plan for who will run Gaza on, quote, the day after the war. Benjamin Netanyahu insisting there's no need to decide on that until Hamas is defeated. The U.S. staunchly disagrees with Netanyahu, and now we're learning so does Israel's defense minister. In a televised address, General Yoav Gallant said he will not.
Stay tuned for more on BCIT's 1680 The Crow.
Everything is changing to digital. Everything is online. People aren't just waiting for the 6 o'clock news anymore. People want their news right now. They want to be able to go onto their smartphone, onto the internet, and see the news that they want to see.
Vancouver is growing at, a really rapid rate, the Lower Mainland even, and with the tools that we're given here, we're able to cover all of that.
Welcome to BCIT Magazine. I'm Radhika Sikakane.
In the program, they really leave it up to you. I mean, the help is there when you need it, figuring out how to use the programs like Premiere, Audition, and figuring out how to use the cameras. But it's up to you to sort of experiment and figure out what you can do when you go out in the field.
They brought candles and flowers to remember the student who lost her life yesterday.
Teresa May says the international community condemns Moscow.
They really make sure that you know the basics and you are able to put out a quality product.
I'm Brady Tretanero.
And I'm Radhika Sikakane. Thank you for tuning in to BCIT Magazine.